I am here to share this story for the first time, as I feel like I am in a better place with my life, especially considering I have moved away and have a better job. I will happily introduce myself as a female, short and love to keep fit. Now we got that out of the way, let me cheekily say to sit back, get yourself comfy for what I consider to be a very scary story. Now, you already know I loved keeping fit. It was something I had to force myself to get into. I was never really into keeping fit in my life. The thought of exercise was just tiring, let alone doing it. But the biggest reason I never got myself into it was that I never had time. I worked a stressful job and studied full time, plus having to come home and care for my grandma. It was stressful, and that is where one of my friends happily chimes in to tell me that exercise is a great stress relief. Sweet. I found myself starting with little runs around very local streets, but eventually found myself running everywhere. Maybe it was just me, but I was running down to the shops, over to friends' homes. I was running all the time. Now, there was one night when my grandma wanted to get something to munch on, as she felt in the mood for it. I will not lie, I was feeling the same, and so chucked on the running shoes and jogged over to the only place that was open that late in the night, the 24/7 garage. The jog was peaceful. Everything went without a hitch, but at the garage there was a man shouting and cursing at the person behind the glass. I stood and watched, but never said anything. That did not stop them turning to me to try to get me involved though, asking me to basically side with him. I was feeling extremely uncomfortable, but said I never had any problems at the garage, etc. The man swore a few more times and then just went to sit in his car. It was a bit weird as he never moved during the entire time as I was purchasing the things I wanted. I wanted to look around, but somehow refrained from doing so, even though I had this very creepy feeling that he was still watching me. So, I smiled, said my goodbye to the garage attendant, and chucked the bag around my wrist before I started off on my jog again. I always carry my headphones with me, and put them back in as I normally would, but did not put anything on to listen to. The roads were quiet. There were one or two drunk people out stumbling home, and within minutes I found myself home as well. I'm home. My grandma usually sat in the back room with the door closed, so I never got a response. I took everything out of the bag and sat her down with my grandma before it was lights out. We ended up watching Ready Player One, as we both admired the artistry behind it. We both said our goodnights, and that was it. Aside from this weird encounter earlier, it was actually a pretty normal day. Now, I have bad struggles in getting to sleep. So much so I found myself doing the dumbest thing ever and watching things on my tablet. Just makes me stay up longer. What must have been around 2 hours after going to bed, I heard a noise coming from outside. It sounded like soft thudding. At first, I ignored it, but then it continued. It was loud enough that it overpowered what I was listening to on the tablet. So, I paused the video, pulled the blanket off me, and headed over to the window. Nobody was there. But I could still hear this noise, this thudding. I could not explain it any better than what I'm trying to do now. Scratching my head, I decided to go and see my grandma, see if it was her doing something. My grandma always keeps her bedroom door open, and I could see her bed and window from the hallway. And on this night, I wish I had not. As I came out of my bedroom and investigated her room, I see a silhouette of what I was positive to be a man, by its physique standing by the bed. I had no idea if this person were facing me or if they were facing away, but I could see the window was also open. I darted against the wall and very slowly stepped back into my bedroom where I closed the door. I dived onto my bed, scrambled to call for the police, and just as they answered, and I told them I needed the police right now, my bedroom door creaked open. I frantically told the police my address and prayed they were sending someone. I kept them on the call, but turned the volume all the way down and put it under my pillow before I closed my eyes and pretended to be asleep. The man stepped in cautiously, his heavy footsteps making each floorboard creak as he took a seat on my bed and started to brush my hair.
You should have agreed with me. You should have listened.
That voice. I recognized it from the garage.
After I'm finished robbing you, I'm going to slit your grandma's throat before I come in here and have some fun with you.
I could feel my body start to tremble, and I had no idea how to calm it down. I was screaming with fear on the inside, but somehow acted like I was sleeping on the outside. What I had not known was if the police on the phone could hear everything that was being said. The phone was not fully under the pillow. I could feel it by my face, and if I could hear him loud and clear, I was praying they could too.
Now, enjoy your sweet dreams until I get back.
I felt the weight of him lift from my bed, and heard him walk out of the bedroom. He left the door wide open, and things fell silent again. I had no idea where he was or what he was going to do next. I pretended to move to get comfortable and turned over, eyes still closed, and took a prayer before I opened them, slowly to see if the coast was clear.
Boo!
His face was right next to mine, and I screamed in fear as I jumped up and started pleading for my life. I was begging him to let me go and take whatever he wanted, asking if my grandma was still okay. But he laughed and said he will have fun with me now. I started chucking everything at him, when my grandma came into my room and knocked him over the head with her walking stick. It was hard enough to send him to the ground, and we both closed the door and I held it closed. There was no physical way of getting out of the house as my grandma's mobility is next to nothing. Thankfully, the police came pounding at the door and we both screamed and yelled to come in. They quickly rushed in and pulled me aside before yelling it was the police and entered the bedroom. We were not allowed to enter the room, but I heard the police telling the man to drop the knife. The police sprayed the man with pepper spray and then took him down. Apparently, he had a diary on him, and in there he wrote all the things he was planning on doing and all the things he had done previously. Safe to say, he got arrested and sent to jail. He had apparently raped an elderly woman a few streets away, and had tried abducting a child from a local school. I am not sure how many years he got, but as said earlier, I lived somewhere new and got a new job. This happened a few years back, and still is the most terrifying thing to have ever happened to me.